And at Scott Field, the temperature will reach the mid-70s today. Just some light, fluffy clouds in the sky. Is a beautiful afternoon for football. For the players, it could get a little bit warm, but other than that, it's a lovely day. It is a sellout crowd here. The capacity of this stadium is 42,500. It's recently renovated and a little bit enlarged, and there are a lot of folks from Alabama here to welcome the Crimson Tide. 7-1 overall, 3-0 in the Southeastern Conference, and coming off the loss to Penn State, Alabama has never won a game following their game with Penn State. We'll see if they can change that today. I might add that Alabama has also never lost when playing here in Starkville, Mississippi. Now the Mississippi State Bulldogs are sending out on the field all of their seniors. Coach Rocky Felker for Mississippi State has only 12 scholarship seniors on this squad, only 2 seniors on his defensive unit. So he has a young team and a team on which to build, and only 85 of the maximum 95 scholarships. So Rocky Felker, who's had a surprisingly good start here in his first year coaching his alma mater, has a wonderful opportunity to build and develop a program because he does have a lot of young football players. And there is Bully the 15th. We just chatted with him before the game, and Bully told me that he is ready. He is injury-free. His dad is, by the way, watching. He's at the veterinary school being treated for some AIDS problems, and Bully the 15th will be playing this game for his pop. Here come the Mississippi State Bulldogs. 6-2 overall, 2-1 in the SEC. Mississippi State losing last week to Auburn by a score of 35-6, but they've had a successful year. They are a good football team, and they are led by one of the most exciting players in the nation, quarterback Don Smith. Back to Scott Field after this. Mississippi State won the coin toss but deferred their option to the second half, meaning that Alabama chose to receive the ball here, and Artie Cosby will be kicking off to one of those 3 players, either Doug Allen, 46, 35, Kerry Good, or 26, Bobby Humphrey. Bobby Humphrey's the man they want to get it. Either one of the other players can do a pretty good job with it, though. But Bobby Humphrey, the leading all-purpose runner in the Southeastern Conference. And here's Artie Cosby, has a pretty strong leg. As Ray Perkins looks on at his Crimson Tide following the loss last week to Penn State. It is Humphrey to the 23. Make it Doug Allen, and he goes down at the 23-yard line after getting it back only 16 yards. It was a short, high kickoff, and let's look at the offense for the University of Alabama, led by Mike Shula. Mike Shula, the all-time TD pass leader at Alabama. He's thrown 32 career touchdown passes, and Bobby Humphrey the key man in that running game. Bo Wright is not the starting fullback. It will be Doug Allen today. Gary Otten replacing King at the left tackle, and Wes Neighbors is the anchor of that excellent Alabama offensive line. A little bit of a problem getting things started here with the sticks and chains on the side. The officials will come over. There's Robert Aye, today's SEC referee, whom we will be seeing making the calls. So before we even get started here, we have a little bit of a snag, and only about 3 seconds have ticked off the clock, but that'll give us an opportunity to show you the Mississippi State defensive alignment. Gary Frank, a key man there, the nose guard. He started the season poorly at nose guard, but is playing a lot better. Cedric Corse, their best linebacker, number 53, very active player. You'll see him not only pressuring the quarterback, but covering passes. And Asa Bennett has been playing very well at free safety recently for Ole Miss. He is 3rd in tackles on the team with 73, and also has an interception, and he is a redshirt freshman. So Robert Aye and his crew of officials, I think, have just about got it corrected, but Ray Perkins is going to use a moment to talk to Shula, while Rocky Felker has to be enjoying his 6-2 record so far.
Ray is reviewing a few things with Mike there as we get the call from the official. Well, we're not going to get that call from the official. Okay, be that way.
Well, the officials are off to a little bit of a rough start here today, but they're a good group, and they'll get it together in a few minutes.
Basically, what they're probably going over is Ray probably had a few plays called coming into the first series, depending on field position, and I'm sure that's what he was reviewing with Mike.
They had a problem with the 25-second clock. It is corrected, we understand, and it is first down at the 23. Here is the pitch. Bobby Humphrey. Bobby Humphrey to the 26, and down he goes, hit by number 90, Jesse Anderson, the outside linebacker for Mississippi State. Bobby Humphrey had a rough game last week against Penn State. He had 12 carries. He had only 27 yards against the Nittany Lions.
Well, everybody that had a red hat on last weekend in Tuscaloosa had a rough day. They just were unproductive offensively. We'll talk a little bit about that as this game develops.
As one of the Alabama folks said, even the day looked like Pennsylvania. It was chilly and gray. We thought we were up there instead of down here. On second down, Shula to Humphrey again. Humphrey close to the first down marker out across the 30 to 31. 18 Brian Hudson with the tackle. And that's what Alabama's going to want to do today, and that's run that ball up the middle.
Alabama starting out with a little different look, Bob. Unbalanced line in the first two possessions. They run it both times to the wide side of the field. Against Tennessee, Perkins liked to run the ball back into the sidelines because of what Tennessee was doing defensively, slanting the line to the wide side of the field.
It is short by about a yard. They spot the ball back near the 30. It is third and let's call it 1. Double tight ends. Humphrey. He gets the first down and a little bit more to the 35 is where they'll stop his forward progress. 7 Kirby Jackson and 27 Asa Bennett with the tackle, but a first down for Alabama.
Okay, let's take a look at this Alabama offensive line. These folks had a hard time last week. You see number 70, Gary Otten. He's the substitute for Joe King. Bill Condon trying to cut back on that linebacker, cut him off. And Howard Cross has been doing a fine job at tight end, allowing these running backs to get around the corner.
It's first down 10. Crimson Tide at the 35-yard line. Opening moments of play from Starkville, Mississippi. 13:26 to go first quarter. Humphrey already with 3 carries and 13 yards. This time to the fullback, Doug Allen, out to the 40-yard line. Allen starting in place of Bo Wright today. Allen's a junior from Cantonment, Florida. He's averaging about 5 yards a carry, and there's Bully the 15th.
There's Ray Perkins, certainly frustrated by his offensive performance last week. The first possession, they fumbled the ball. The next possession, they scored a field goal. Then it was a fumble, an interception, just a bunch of miscues that kept Alabama off the board.
Second down 5 at the 40. Humphrey in motion. Hand off to Allen again. Big gaping hole inside Mississippi State territory to about the 47. Hudson making the tackle again. And the defensive front there giving up 13 yards on that one. Simmons, Frank, and Butts will have their hands full today.
When you're a linebacker, you never know where the traffic's coming from. That time, Cedric Course got blindsided by Haas Johnson opening up that hole. We get a chance to see it again. Course reading into the backfield, beginning to step up, not in time before Haas Johnson makes contact. And there goes Doug Allen.
First down 10. They've spotted the ball at the 47. And here comes Allen again. Same kind of hole. Almost as much success. Hudson with his 3rd tackle from strong safety for Mississippi State. And that's bad news for the Bulldogs, because that means the linebackers and defensive line not making 11 yards on that. Well, maybe not 11. He could be short of the first down. We'll have to wait and see where they spot the ball exactly. It's at the 36-yard line.
One of the problems a linebacker has against an I formation, especially a good running football team, is they'll get ahead of the football. They'll over pursue, and that allows a team like Alabama to stick the ball in the fullback's gut, cutting back against the grain for a nice gain. You see it again. You see Course coming with the fake toss, and now the ball fills in behind him, and Hudson got over there to knock him to the dirt.
Made the first down by about half the length of the football. "41 yards rushing for Alabama. They have yet to throw the ball. Here comes Bobby Humphrey inside the 35, inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. Course with the tackle. 10, 12 yards downfield, and Alabama just manhandling this very good defensive team of Mississippi State on this opening drive.
They're scrappy. Let's put it that way. I think that they're inexperienced up front, Bob, and they have played to the height of their potential early on in the season. And then talking to Rocky Felker, he said one of the things that they might need right now is a week off instead of Alabama.
And they do get a week off, but unfortunately it comes after this game. Humphrey goes in motion against Shula with an option to throw. He's going to keep it and go down at about the 21-yard line. So here's Alabama now down in that tough territory, just outside the 20 where they'll spot them.
Another thing I think that was working against Alabama last week was, Bob, you play 13 games and you haven't lost in 13 games. Sometimes you lose the memory of what it's like to lose. And I guarantee you that, you know, what they felt on Saturday, they won't soon forget. And what they experienced this week from Ray Perkins, they won't soon forget.
Mike Shula has done an excellent job here at Alabama. 8 straight running plays. 9 straight running plays. There comes Bobby Humphrey. He goes to about the 17-yard line, and down he goes. Humphrey has carried the ball 5 times already on this drive. Humphrey has 720 yards on the year, 9 touchdowns. He's only a sophomore, grew up in the shadow of Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama.
What a pair he and Gene Jelks make. Jelks came in here last year, ran for over 100 yards, also caught passes out of the backfield for over 100 yards. They're quite a duo.
Here's a significant defensive opportunity for Mississippi State. It is 3rd down 3, Alabama at the 17. But Humphrey gets the first down. Just outside the 10, about the 11. Asa Bennett, Darren Martin combining on the tackles.
We're going to see this again. The toss into the sideline. Stafford getting a good block there on a defensive end that opens up the crack. The cornerback upfield a little bit too far, a little bit too much penetration, which created the seam. Al Bell and Bruce Plummer, they'll be going after it all afternoon. Plummer, the type of defensive back, he's an intimidator.
First down outside the 10. Doug Allen stopped at the 10-yard line. Cedric Course was right there this time. They weren't able to move him out. Maybe a penalty marker down on the far side of the end zone. Yes, there is. There is a penalty marker in the end zone. Personal foul, Mississippi State. That can only be half the distance at the 10.
And I'm sure they caught Bruce Plummer on that one. The flag was thrown in the corner of the end zone. There's nobody else standing out there.
Clay Whitehurst, 82, was over there.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense.
So it's first down goal at the 5 now. I mentioned Clay Whitehurst, a junior wide receiver for Alabama who wears 82. Greg Richardson, the normal starting wide receiver, number 17, is injured with a deep thigh bruise. He's dressed today, but may or may not get to play in this game. First and goal from the 5, Crimson Tide. They just hammer it inside for 2 or 3. I just noticed Plummer and Whitehurst were going at it again out in the end zone. Is that what you were chuckling about?
That's what I was chuckling about. Yeah, Whitehurst came back after him, as you see Rocky Felker there. Just tremendously popular in the state of Mississippi. Just done a marvelous job bringing around this Bulldog football team. They've already guaranteed themselves their first winning season since 1981.
Second down goal from the 2. Humphrey. Big hole. Touchdown, Alabama.
And Ray Perkins starts out this game with the concept of we're going to show them Alabama football. Run it hard-nosed, straight ahead, knock you off the ball, establish that. Later on, that'll open up the passing game, but just trying to get back on track after that performance last week against Penn State.
Van Tiffen with the point after. He needs this one to tie the NCAA record of consecutive PATs. It is good. The record is tied. A penalty marker is down. If it holds up, it'll be tied at 125 with Uwe von Schaumann of Oklahoma. And his next one will break the NCAA record of consecutive points after. You see Robert Aye, the official's microphone is not working. Penalty was against Mississippi State, and the point after will hold, and Van Tiffen has tied the all-time NCAA record for consecutive PATs at 125. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. Here's a look at that touchdown run again.
Number 70, Gary Otten blocking down there on Butts. Bill Condon coming around, cutting off Cedric Course. Jesse Anderson upfield, not able to make it. Martin not able to get there in time to keep Humphreys from scoring 6.
74 yards on the drive in 13 plays, all on the ground. Alabama has yet to put the ball in the air. there is Van Tiffen, the senior from Red Bay, Alabama. He's been a great kicker for the Crimson Tide. He's 10 out of 11 on his field goal attempts this year and 29 out of 29 on the point after touchdowns. This one's out of bounds, and the penalty marker will drop. And he'll have to back up and kick this one from the 30-yard line. I guess he was so excited about tying the record, he just shanked it a little bit. Now, Mississippi State is going to have to get something going here. They can ill afford to let Alabama just completely control the clock. Alabama had it for almost half the quarter, Tim.
And that's a storybook drive. That's exactly what you're looking for. And you look back over the Alabama successes, most of their success has come after establishing a strong ground game. That's exactly what they want to do. They're a little thin in their receiver core. As you mentioned, Richardson is hurt, bummed up. Also, Al Bell has got a bad elbow. I don't think they want to get him over the middle too much this afternoon. So if they can just run the ball like that, mix in a play pass, they'll come out of here with a victory and get healthy.
Here's the Van Tiffen kick, and it's going to come down to Michael Robinson at the 10. Big hole. Robinson to the 40-yard line. Outstanding field position. He was knocked down by 12. Sean Lee. It was a 31-yard kickoff return. And there's Don Smith, the quarterback for Mississippi State. Don Smith has been responsible for 16 touchdowns this year. Peters and Robinson in the backfield. Hadley and Clark are the wide receivers, and they're both good ones. Tom Good anchors that offensive line. They'll have their hands full today with a very good Alabama defense. They hand it off right up the middle to Calvin Robinson, who gets about 4 yards. Robinson, a 6'1", 205-pound senior from Eupora, Mississippi. Here's the Alabama defensive unit. Kurt Jarvis anchors not their best defensive unit. Thomas and Slaughter, maybe some weak spots there. Cornelius Bennett, what can you say, he's an All-American. Also, though, the other three linebackers, Davis, Gilbert, Rockwell, are excellent. Freddie Robinson, the defensive secondary leader, he has 3 interceptions on the year. Now it's 28 Taylor and 21 Peters in the backfield for Mississippi State on second down. And 21 Peters goes down in the backfield, losing a couple of yards. Knifing through, nose guard, 95, Kurt Jarvis. And there's Cedric Course, had a rough time, as did the entire Mississippi State defensive unit on that 74-yard touchdown drive by Alabama.
Cedric Course leads Mississippi State in tackles and has developed into a real strong linebacker for him.
3rd and 8 from the 42-yard line. Don Smith hadn't carried the ball yet. On the 3rd down, sets in the pocket and throws, has his man. Short hops it, though, to Frank Hadley. Would have been complete had he got it there, and would have been a first down at the 43. Fred Hadley, incomplete, and they'll have to punt the ball away. Just what Mississippi State did not want. They wanted to be able to maintain some kind of ball control, but they go 3 downs and out. And in comes the punter. Let's see who's in there first to punt. They have 2. There's Al Bell. And number 23, Tommy Parks, the freshman, will punt. Inconsistent, but has a good leg. Bell is going to let it hop. It's going to turn out to be a pretty good Mississippi State punt. They should have let it roll, but they hit it at the 11, and that's where Alabama will take over from their own 11.5. They're spotting it at the 12-yard line, leading 7-0 with 7:18 to go in quarter number 1.
Up in Iowa City, Iowa, watch Ohio State. Bottom of your screen, number 3 in black. He's going to get the tip ball and carry it in the end zone for Iowa. Kerry Burt, 19 yards with the interception. They lead Ohio State 7-0. Let's go back to Starkville, Mississippi.
Thank you, Kevin Bob Neal. Tim Foley here with you from Scott Field. 7:18 to go, quarter number 1. Alabama leading 7-0. Mississippi State was 3 downs and out. Got him a good long punt there of 46 yards, and Alabama now has another running play and another successful one. All the way out for 11 yards to about the 23-yard line goes Doug Allen, tackled by Cedric Course. Afternoon scores. Oh, there's a good one going on there. Florida State, Miami. Number 1 ranked Hurricanes were off last week. It's tied currently. Pittsburgh leading Syracuse. North Carolina State. And an excellent team. Dick Sheridan doing a great job this year. William & Mary leading Virginia. And Colorado currently tied for the lead out there in the Big 8 with that big upset over Nebraska last week. Out in front this week. They're just going to continue ramming this ball right at him. It was Doug Allen again. Short of the first down, though, to the 30-yard line. Wes Neighbors, 6'2", 250 senior from Huntsville.
And watch him work. Just great position by the center. Often the center has no one on his nose, right on face-to-face with him, and he'll crack back off the defensive line. And Wes Neighbors does it as well as anyone in the country.
All-American candidate. Second down, about 4, long 4. Misdirection, Humphrey, big hole. Humphrey to the 37-yard line before Bruce Plummer, number 4, gets him. And Alabama has certainly solved the defensive alignment. Look at the size of this hole, Tim.
See Hoss Johnson trap inside. The play is designed to go inside, but it looks like an outside play from a defensive standpoint. Asa Bennett misses. Plummer and Kirby Jackson drag him down. Little face mask, inconsequential. Look at Larry Rose. Nice block there on Jerry Leggett. Now, boom. You don't want that situation, one-on-one with that rascal.
Running it again, down to the 30-yard line goes Bobby Humphrey. This time on the first down, he gets about 6 or 7 yards that time, just short of the first down. Mississippi State, Gene Jelks is in there in place of Bobby Humphrey, number 22. He's a sophomore from Gadsden, Alabama. And that gives him a great 1-2 tandem back there in the backfield. It'll be second down 2 from the 30. Now Humphrey back in. Doug Allen to the 27-yard line. And that's close enough for the first down for Alabama as they continue this drive. They're just racking up Alabama first downs. That'll be the 7th one. They lead 7-0, and the clock down to 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. I'm asking you, I always get to ask you the tough questions, Tim.
Okay, good.
This comes, I know your answer already. If I knew, I'd be coaching right now. How does Mississippi State stop this?
I think what Bobby Wallace has to do, the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State, obviously he'd like to have some bigger players. But yeah, in lieu of that, I think he needs to apply a little bit more pressure. He doesn't want to blitz, but he's being forced to blitz in this situation.
First down 10 from the 27. Gene Jelks, he's tripped up in the backfield. May have been tripped up back there by 45 linebacker Willie Monroe, who had made some penetration. But he stumbles forward. Not much gain on that one. Anthony Butts will get credit for the line. And there's Gene Jelks. He alternates at the tailback position. He's been injured throughout his career off and on, as has been Kerry Goof. But he's playing healthy today. Had a groin earlier in the season. 5'11", 170 pounds. And Humphrey is the bigger of the tailbacks. He's 6'1", 185. It is second down, 10. No gain on that play. Cross the tight end shifting over. Here comes Jelks. There's that hole. He's tripped up at the 20, short of the first down. So it'll be third down, short yardage. Tripped up by 96 Michael Simmons.
Usually if the offense is running the ball to the wide side of the field and it's the strong side of the offensive formation, what defenses like to do is to stack that weak defensive linebacker, get him off the ball so he can get into the pursuit a little bit quicker. One thing that's making this Alabama drive go right now, and what made the last one go, is Doug Allen, number 46, is doing an excellent job in the lead block on the linebackers for Mississippi State.
On third down and 3, here comes Humphrey. Touchdown, Alabama. Oh my, what an awesome display of running power. Shula has yet to throw the football. And Alabama has rushed now for over 150 yards in these 2 drives. 93 yards for Humphrey himself and 162 yards on the ground for the Crimson Tide.
This is it for the record.
This will be point after touchdown 126. It'll break the Uwe von Schamann record if he hits it. Oh, he does it just barely, but so now I know that close counts in dancing, slow dancing, horseshoes, grenades, and point afters. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. Clinic, Tim Foley.
Yeah, here's a training film. Let's roll this now. Down there, folks. Ball's tossed right. Look at Neighbors, 54, coming over. He gets the cutoff on Sanger. Okay, hold it. Now, Bill Condon, number 77, is about to take out course, and they got Doug Allen about to make contact with Jesse Anderson. Roll it. Bang. That's how they draw it up. Very rarely do you see it like that. Now the running back's got to break some tackles, as he does here. Hudson and Jackson miss, and Humphrey has 6 big ones on the board. That makes 12 for today.
Unfortunately for Mississippi State, they'll probably be the ones to see that training film more often than will the Alabama offensive team.
They always run the mistakes back more times than they do your good plays.
Michael Robinson at the 10. Got it all the way out to the 40. Penalty markers down. He got to the 40 last time. This time to about the 27. But there is a spot on the field. 29, John Mangum with the tackle. Penalty markers back around the 20-yard line. So Mississippi State trailing 14-0 now. We're still in the first quarter. 3:25 remaining. Clipping is the call against the Bulldogs. It occurred at the 20-yard line. Well, that at least is where the flag is on the ground. 88 yards that time, all on the ground. 3 minutes 45 seconds, and Humphrey gets 20 yards on that run and is only 7 yards shy of 100 yards in the first quarter here at Scott Field. So Bobby Humphrey could be on his way to some national headlines today, depending on how many times he gets to carry the ball.
And Mike Shula's down warming up on the sideline. He's just putting the ball down now, trying to stay fresh. Van Tiffen knuckleballed through that NCAA championship shot, but it counts, and what a performer he's been for Alabama. You know what I really admire about Van Tiffen is the fact that, you know, it doesn't matter whether there's pressure or no pressure, he performs. Has knocked in some big game-ending field goals for Alabama over the course of his career. He's just not a putter. He can hit the driver, too. He wins a free Allegro motorhome with
for the breaking of the record.
Right, yeah, well, his dad owns Allegro motorhomes. They drive those things around.
Calvin Robinson was stopped for a 2-yard loss. He's been replaced by 28 Michael Taylor. Second down. Don Smith on the run, short of the original line of scrimmage. I mean, Mississippi State not operating on any of their cylinders thus far today. Very disoriented football team. That was only their 5th offensive play of the game. They had 3 downs and out previously. So now it is 3rd down and 10 from their own 10, and it's 21 Peters and 30 Jeff Patton in the backfield on the 3rd down 10, and you might see Bama coming here. Don Smith gets rid of it. He's going to have to throw it away, though. Coverage too good. Tried to get it to Fred Hadley. Quarterback pressure. Kurt Jarvis is having himself a field day thus far. 95 Kurt Jarvis, among others, back in the backfield.
Smith rolling to the wide side, trying to buy some time, trying to hit the sideline and up. That's coming in there a little bit late. That might have been called. 3 and out is not unusual, Bob, on your first possession, and field possession limited what they could call back there. I think Mississippi State's got to maintain their composure and just come back to their game plan.
Al Bell goes down at the 48-yard line. 37-yard punt. He loses a yard on the return. We'll be back in just a moment with 2:29 to go in the first quarter. Alabama leads 14-0. Alabama has rushed for 161 yards. Mississippi State for exactly 1 yard, and that's clearly the story of this game. Alabama's driven it 74 and 88 yards on the ground for touchdowns. This time, only 48 yards away, Gene Jelks takes him to only about 37 yards away. 36, Michael Robinson in the defensive backfield for Mississippi State making the play, and that's a little bit unusual as he is normally not playing back there. He is a kick returner.
Basically, I think that Bobby Wallace is trying to make some changes. When I talked about sticking with the game plan, obviously I was referring to the offense. They really haven't had a chance to try out what they thought might work against Alabama. Defensively, you just have to start taking risks that you wouldn't ordinarily want to take, but that seems to be the only way that the Mississippi State's going to be able to slow down this Alabama offense.
Well, Alabama gets a first down. They're at just outside the 37-yard line of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. It has been a long first quarter for this defensive unit of Mississippi State. 2:12 remaining in the first period. Alabama 14, Bulldogs nothing. First down, Crimson Tide. They have 82. Whitehurst split wide to the left and over to the right side. They have number 6, Greg Payne, but it's not going to matter because they don't throw the ball today. To the 32-yard line goes number 40, right to fullback, and Mike Shula has yet to put the ball in the air. That's the 23rd running play of this first quarter for Alabama. They're up to 175 yards, and it has quietened the crowd here at Scott Field, a sellout crowd of 42,500. 2nd and 5 from the 32. Jelks close to the first down. Darren Martin, 58, and 92 Anthony Butts with the stops. Anthony Butts, the youngster from Atlanta, only a sophomore, one of the most highly recruited high school players a couple of years ago, came over here to Mississippi State.
You know, it's not essential coming into this game. It would be nice if Mississippi State could beat Alabama, but it's not essential for them to beat Alabama for them to come out with a good feeling. But if this continues, they're certainly not going to come out with any kind of a good feeling. There would be nothing positive accomplished.
No mistakes for Alabama so far either. Here's Whitehurst on the reverse. Whitehurst out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Milton Smith knocked him out, number 34. Number 82, Whitehurst, playing in place of the injured Greg Richardson today, a junior from Nashville, Tennessee. 24 yards on the reverse.
And these are the types of things that happen when the ball is being run on you. You over pursue. Plummer's job right there, turn the play in. Whitehurst gets it outside, and finally Milton Smith comes over to drag him out of bounds.
So it'll be first down goal, Alabama, with 41 seconds to go in the first quarter. Cross and Stafford, 85 and 86, are the tight ends in there in the power formation for the Crimson Tide. They pitch to Jelks. Eludes a tackle, untouched into the end zone. And it's 20-0. Alabama pouring it on the Bulldogs of Mississippi State.
We see it again. Mississippi State has seen it before. You've seen it before. This time Cedric Course tries to take it upfield instead of pursuing along the line of scrimmage. Brian Hudson loses his footing, isn't able to get into the play, and Jelks takes it in.
Well, Van Tiffen, who tied and now has broken the NCAA record for consecutive point after touchdowns, is going to get a chance to really establish a mark here if he keeps hitting them, and he does. That's 3. Notice the guys with the records he broke Uwe von Schrammann's record, who was at Oklahoma. The guy that's going to get a point after touchdown consecutive mark in the NCAA in a college career is going to play for Alabama or Oklahoma or Michigan or Miami, or a team that's scoring all those points. And it's 21-0 here. Alabama over Mississippi State with 36 seconds yet remaining in the first quarter. 208 yards rushing for Alabama.
We're going to take a look at that play again. Cross 85, Whitehurst working to the wide side, trying to get the hook. When Whitehurst can block Jerry Leggett, then you know you're going to have a problem. And time for the Bulldogs to regroup. It's now pride time. You know, this game is out of reach from the standpoint of winning, and now it's a matter of regrouping and just pulling together and not getting embarrassed.
Jerry Leggett's a big linebacker too. He's at 6'5", 260 pounds. Whitehurst just 180-pound wide receiver. So there you've got to just question the intensity a little bit. And Rocky Felker, I'm sure, is. He was a very intense quarterback who was all conference here at Mississippi State. As a matter of fact, when he was a junior, Ray Perkins had his first collegiate coaching job here at Mississippi State, and Rocky played for Ray Perkins. It's going back to Robinson right on the goal line. To the 20. Good cut. Needs to get outside. Van Tiffen is the man who trips him up, the kicker, but not until Robinson gets it to the 47-yard line. A 54-yard kickoff return by Robinson. Were it not for number 3 Tiffen, he might have been able to break it. Great job by Robinson, who's going in now to play. Coming off the field, he had been playing at defensive back.
Now this is a patient piece of running. Look at him use his blockers effectively. He waits there. Now tries to set that one up, gets a turn. Tiffen really saves 6 on that play.
So a chance for the Bulldogs here. Don Smith on the option, trying to get something going. Gets a couple of yards inside the 45, down to about the 43-yard line goes Don Smith, the quarterback, his first positive yardage of the day. Philip Brown with the stop for Alabama.
Now this is 4-down territory for Mississippi State. Anything Alabama side of the 50. Going to be 4-down territory for them now.
And the clock goes down to 0-0s, and that's the end of the first quarter of play with Alabama clobbering the Bulldogs on the ground. The Crimson Tide is yet to throw a pass. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. Being brought to you by Coors and Coors Light. Beers with a difference worth tasting. Bob Neal, Tim Foley with you from Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi, where the Mississippi State Bulldogs are getting drilled by the Crimson Tide. But the Bulldogs have it 2nd down 7 at the 43 following a 54-yard kickoff return by Melvin Robinson. Hadley goes in motion. Right up the middle. Running room. And a nice move close to the first down by 33 Calvin Robinson. Philip Brown with the tackle. First quarter stats are unbelievable. I have never in all my years of broadcasting football seen stats that lopsided from the first quarter. But a first down.
That's what you call a sound thrashing in the first quarter. The woodshed was occupied.
From the 35-yard line, Smith on the keeper, the option, pitch to Peters, and they get it to the 30-yard line. Chris Good, 36 with a stop for Alabama, and that was Rodney Peters, the junior from Tucker, Georgia. And there's Mike Shula. He has to throw on the sideline to keep his arm loose because he doesn't get a throw in the game.
That's right. I got to get some practice in here, Mom. We've got a great shot, though, we'll show you later on, of Mike and Don.
2nd down 5 from the 30. They hand it to 28 Michael Taylor. Taylor battles down to about the 28-yard line. Let's go to our studios in Atlanta and Kevin Slayton.
In the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, the Orangemen having trouble with their punting game. Punter Jim Fox in trouble again. Has to take a safety. 2nd of the day on their punting game. One was blocked, and they trail 7-0 to Pitt. Let's go back to Starkville.
13:46 to go in the first half of play. Alabama leading 21-0, but Mississippi State with their best field position of the day. 3rd down 3 from the 28 of Alabama. They're just going to run it on the right side. Big hole inside the 20. Goes 33. Calvin Robinson, 1st down Bulldogs. Oh, what a touchdown here could do for the Bulldogs to stop the onrushing Tide.
And Rodney Peters is going to get a good block here to the left side of your screen. Number 21 fires out and seals the inside. He cut down Wayne Davis and opened up that gap for Robinson.
1st down Bulldogs. They spotted at the 19. They hand it to the fullback right up the middle. Jeff Patton, number 30, gets to the about the 16-yard line, tackled by 99 Cliff Thomas. This is the first time that Mississippi State's had any opportunity to develop a pattern, Tim.
It really has been the first time. First possession is kind of feel them out, see what Alabama's going to do. Are they going to do what they did against Penn State? Are they going to do what they did earlier in the season? Their second possession, they were backed up. The idea is don't turn the ball over, give Alabama any help. This possession, they had good field position, and they're moving the ball well.
That's Hadley in motion. Don Smith keeps it right up the middle, down to the 10-yard line. A yard shy of the first down goes quarterback Don Smith. The team's leading rusher has 515 yards on the year.
He makes things happen. I'm not sure that he'll be he may be too good an athlete to be a quarterback in the NFL. You know, he'd be a great free safety. He could be a receiver, even a running back. I've seen him run as well as anybody in the SEC at times. So he's going to be an asset to some NFL team. Probably not a quarterback.
Ray Perkins says he's a running back disguised as a quarterback. 3rd and less than a yard.
Whoa.
It's going to be a lot more than a yard now. Did the Tide rise up or not? Rodney Peters was with the ball. 57 Rockwell led the charge. The 6'3" weak side linebacker. Oh, that was a hammering back to the 12 as forward progress. So it'll be 4th down and about 4 now. And there's going to be a timeout, as you said, Tim, trailing 21-0 even this early in the ball game. This is still 4-down territory in my view.
Right.
Rocky Felker, an offensive mind. He was a quarterback here, total offensive leader for a long time in the Southeastern Conference.
Rocky's talking to Dave Rader, who's upstairs in the booth, and both of them had coached at Alabama. Rocky coached the receivers and the running backs. Raider, an offensive coach.
You know, interestingly, these two teams have a lot in common. They're close to each other, only about 80 miles apart. Starkville and Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Coaches who had coached with each other or been coached by.
Got a great poster around here of Rocky Felker. There it is. Top dog. It says aim high there in Rocky's handwriting. And we had talked about that. I said, man, you should have gone for a ride in that. He said, what do you think I was doing there, boy? I was climbing into that plane. This isn't Hollywood. I was going on the plane, and he went up and went, boy, I'd love to do that. If there's anybody out there listening that's got one of those planes.
Well, I have an uncle that owns a whole lot of them. Right. Sam.
He said he did pretty well. Didn't got a little nauseated doing those rolls, but came out of it.
All right, a very big Mississippi State play. 4th down 4 from the 13 of Alabama, trailing 21-0. And Don Smith
can't
call two timeouts in a row, and he slapped himself on the helmet. It's a delay of game penalty. And now it's going to be 4th down and 9. And Don, who just turned 23 last Thursday, is old enough and mature enough as a senior leader to know that. And I'm sure he's disappointed in it. He didn't like the defensive alignment. They were, of course, intense on getting that 4th down conversion.
Illegal procedure. Offense, delay.
Alabama, by the way, has not allowed an opponent a 4th down conversion this year. And that one won't even go.
Interested to find out what happened. I'm sure what happened was, when you look at the Alabama defense, the first thing you look for, 9-7, Cornelius Bennett. And I'm sure that Cornelius wasn't where they expected him to be. Don wanted to talk about it.
35-yard field goal attempt coming up here, and Alabama comes over and encroaches, but it may be because 70 Mike Hendershot moved. It was Philip Brown, 89, who came across. Now let's see if it's against Alabama.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, defense.
Now that'll move it back to 4th down and 4 again, and might we see Don Smith return to the field?
Yeah, the interior of the Alabama line moved and made contact.
I think, what are we going to see? We see them coming back.
Tell you what, that could be Tom Good's son snapping the ball on those extra points and field goals, and Good was a magician when he played for the Dolphins in the NFL. The center gives the ball a little squeeze, and defensive lineman's watching the ball and sometimes moves on the squeeze.
Now 30-yard field goal attempt. I wonder if they'd pull something funny here. No, they're just going to go ahead and kick it, and it is no good. And Artie, who has frankly been inconsistent this year, misses what would have to be called a chip shot. And the score remains 21-0 Alabama. You can't tell by today's game, but Mississippi State has beaten Alabama. In 1980, Alabama carried a 28-game unbeaten streak into the game with Mississippi State, but that 4th quarter Dana Moore field goal gave the Dogs a 6-3 lead. Bear Bryant's troops got one last chance, 15 seconds left. Tied quarterback Don Jacobs the fumble. Mississippi State scored one of the biggest upsets in the school's history, 6-3. And that young man is playing the blues.
Although Halloween was last night.
He's dressed as a sad saxophone today. 1st down 10 from the 20. Bobby Humphrey stutter steps his way just across the 25 to the 26. Brian Hudson with the tackle for Mississippi State. And Bobby Humphrey is getting up near 100 yards. I don't think he got 7 on that one, though. No, only about 4. He's going to be about a carry or so away from breaking the 100-yard mark. With 11-12 to go in the first half, and Alabama leading by a score of 21-0. The only thing that stopped the Tide scoring so far is Mississippi State being able to maintain possession for several minutes on their last drive when they missed the field goal attempt. 2nd down, about 4. Here's Bobby Humphrey. Now he's got over 100. A lot more than 100. And gets to the 48-yard line of Mississippi State. Wayne Banks with the stop. That was a 26-yard gallop. So now he has 125 yards on the afternoon.
See Larry Rose gets a block there. Haas Johnson locks up Asa Bennett. Asa just grab a hold, wait for help. But Bobby Humphrey runs through, finally dragged to the dirt by Bulldog.
1st down 10 from the 49-yard line.
Offensive lineman Stan Sims there getting taped up.
Here comes Gene Jelks. Not quite as much success, short of the first down to about the 43. Milton Smith, a little pure freshman, 5'10" defensive back making the stop. Let's look at some scores around the nation. We'll take a look at them in a little bit. That was just a test to see if you were paying attention. Tease you with some scores. This one's 21-0. If you're a Mississippi State Bulldog fan, you probably don't want to hear that too much. But Alabama, recovering after the 23-3 loss to Penn State last week, has this game well in hand with 9:55 to go, second quarter. Shula on the option. Jelks to the 37-38-yard line, and it's just across the first down stick, and it will be another Alabama first down, their 13th of the afternoon. Alabama's only been penalized once, and interestingly, Tim, Alabama playing mistake-free football today, but they have not been doing it this year. Alabama is 7th in the SEC in turnover ratio, just one more takeaway than they have giveaway, which is a little unusual for a team playing as well as they are.
I agree, but the style of defense they play, Bob, is not really geared to high takeaway ratio. Tennessee last year led the SEC in takeaway ratio and turnover ratio, and they're blitzing upfield football team, and Mississippi is always high in that area too. A team that plays the soft corner, that plays the bend but don't break style of defense is usually not going to be way up there in interceptions because they're not causing the pressure.
Perhaps that sign should have said the Crimson Tide has washed ashore here in Starkville. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Mike Shula just takes it down to the turf instead of taking the lick that was about to be applied by 18 Brian Hudson. Looked like a broken play. Penalty marker is down in the defensive secondary of Mississippi State. It's against Alabama, however. Robert Aye, the man in the white hat, the referee today of the SEC officials. It's 31 rushing plays, Tim.
This could be a passing situation here.
I know. Well, call the wire services, notify the president. We may put the ball in the air. There have been 2 Mississippi State attempts. They're 0 for 2. Alabama has yet to attempt to pass. Alabama's rushed for 224 yards, which is why they haven't done that. It's a significant penalty. They may have to force a pass here.
Holding. Offense. Still first down.
Okay, now Mike Shula, is his arm loose is the question here.
There they are. Hey, Mike, who's that young guy on your left? I was even young then.
Here it comes, folks. And it's incomplete, right off the chest of Clay Whitehurst. Well, there's still not been a pass completed in this football game. Whitehurst, the junior, playing in place of the injured Greg Richardson, 82.
They're just running it out with Humphrey. Just a zone pattern underneath. And Shula kept his arm warm. Clay hadn't kept his hands warm.
2nd down 20. Could it be that an Alabama drive won't result in a score this time? Let's see. 2nd and 20 from the 48 of Mississippi State. Here's Bobby Humphrey. They've got him hemmed in over there, and down he goes at the 47. Anthony Butts, 92, leading the way. And Tim, we were just talking about the mistakes. And you have to call a penalty a holding a mistake.
Right.
And that's the kind of thing that'll stop a drive. And, of course, with a 3rd down 18 now, we may see Mike throw it again.
And that's just what happened against Penn State, as we were talking before, as Don Smith looks on. They started out with a fumble, came back with a field goal. Then they had another fumble and a major penalty. Then they had a missed assignment, a miss on a fake reverse that cost them.
Here's Shula. Has a man there. It's complete. Short of the first down. Shy of the first down by a couple of yards. It was Whitehurst with a reception for 17 yards. It was 3rd and 18. But they get it down here to field goal range if that's what Alabama decides to do.
Clay Whitehurst trying to drive it down, working against Bruce Plummer. Gets Plummer to turn. Now he breaks back. The ball is on time, but Whitehurst just a little bit short. First down mark.
And the Tide's going for it. 4th down and 1. I'd be going for it too, the success I'd had so far. Bobby Humphrey. He is stopped shy shy of the first down. He does not make it. 53 Course and 58 Martin with a tackle. Now they will unpile it here, and we will wait for the official mark of the ball, but I'll be very surprised if they give it to them. The Bulldogs have held, and Alabama for the first time on a drive today. This is their 4th possession, and it's the first time they have been stopped without a touchdown. We'll be right back. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. Here's the Bulldog defense on the 4th down play.
Very frank on the nose. Stays on his feet, cuts off that gap. Cedric Course upfield, and here comes Darren Martin. Pow! Hits him behind the line of scrimmage. Course finishes him off. That's the way to play defense, Bulldogs.
1st and 10 from the 29. Don Smith. Option, turns it upfield about 3 yards, 4 yards maybe. Across the 30 to the 33. Derek Rushton with the tackle. We're going to our studios in Atlanta now, and Kevin Slayton.
All right, Bob, up in Iowa City, Ohio State gets even in that Big Ten showdown. Jim Carsados to Chris Carter. Now watch the defensive work by Ken Sims. That happens in the Little League. Carter finishes a 72-yard touchdown play, 7 apiece, 2nd quarter. Back to Starkville.
Where it is 2nd down 6 from the 33-yard line. Mississippi State trailing 21-0. Don Smith on the option again. Pitches to Peters. Peters breaking tackles and struggling upfield. Short of the first down. Goes out of bounds up there near the 40, about the 38. Vantrese Davis, number 47, with the tackle for Alabama.
Little counter option here. Little counter step. Here we go. Into the sideline. Toss upfield, and Peters breaks the tackle. Early on in the season, Rocky Felker didn't think his backs were running like they should be, and he sent for a tape at Alabama of Gene Jelks and Bobby Humphrey running, and got his backs to look at that. Said, hey, boys, here's how we want it done. Since that time, they've run with abandon.
3rd and 1, Don Smith, 1st down and more to the 50. Mississippi State getting some action now. Freddie Robinson with the tackle, and Don Smith with his 5th carry of the day, and now he's starting to rack up some rushing yardage. He has 29 yards now, and Mississippi State out to midfield.
Don Smith is a supreme competitor. You know, as Ray said, he's really a running back, although I've been impressed with the way he throws the football when he has a chance to throw. There he runs over Kermit Kendrick, showing some power.
1st down at the 50. Peters goes in motion out of the backfield, and Don Smith's going to take it to the air. Couldn't find anybody. Throws on the run. And his receiver, Derek Lewis Clark, was surprised. This telecast, authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Southeastern Conference, is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, rebroadcast, or retransmission of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game, in whole or in part, without the express written consent of the Southeastern Conference and the Turner Broadcasting System, is prohibited. 2nd down 10. John Moore in at halfback now. He's number 39. And it's a draw play. Moore got the great speed. To the 40, and down he goes. He got the 1st down, though. He got just across the 40, and it'll be 1st down Mississippi State. John Moore's a sophomore from Philadelphia, Mississippi, who's normally a receiver.
Let's look at Cornelius Bennett here. Upfield, slips down. Nobody blocked him on that play, but that rascal is as good as you can find in the country. There isn't any better linebacker in the country this year, or we've been doing games for 5 years together. I haven't seen anybody that comes close to him in terms of ability.
1st down 10 at the 39-yard line of Alabama. Mississippi State's had 2 consecutive good drives here, but they've been unable to score. Don Smith got a man wide open. It is 82, Lewis Clark, the former tight end and wide receiver, making his 18th catch of the year. Willie Shepard covering from the inside linebacker position, number 96. So Don Smith now has completed his 1st pass of the day. Shulet completed 1.
Joe Kynes is got some of his big boys back in there. Jarvis just came back in the game. Cliff Thomas, Derek Slaughter, Derek Thomas back in there.
2nd down 4 from the 33. And Don Smith says timeout. Don Smith, on that last pass completion, just moved into 7th place in the all-time career total offense in the SEC, past Jeff Wickersham of LSU. Smith now has 6,710 yards in his career. It'll be 2nd down 4, Bulldogs. They are at the 33-yard line of the Crimson Tide following the timeout. Don Smith now running a little bit better. He's 5 carries for 29 yards, only 67 yards rushing all day for Mississippi State compared to 227 for the Crimson Tide. Here's Peters. Getting the first down, just barely, but enough. It'll be a continuation of the Bulldogs' drive. They are keeping it out of the hands of that Crimson Tide offensive team by maintaining ball control.
That's enough to keep the band playing. After the first quarter, they're excited about just about anything here in Starkville, and they seem to be getting a little bit of momentum going. Defensively, it's awfully hard to keep your intensity up when it's 21-0 after the first quarter. You know the game is well in hand, and you sometimes unconsciously you slow down by a half a step. You lose a little bit of that edge that you need to play good defense.
Don Smith fakes the handoff, keeps it. Penalty markers down. Smith down at the 27. Penalty marker at the line of scrimmage. Maybe against Alabama. They're offsides. That's the call. Ray Perkins not happy with that. Alabama racking up some penalty marks now. They've made a few mistakes there. That's about the only mistake that the Crimson Tide had made today, though. So it goes to the 24-yard line.
Offside. Defense. First down.
One thing you have to be concerned with if you're Joe Kynes, the Alabama defensive coordinator, is containment on Don Smith. You got to send those defensive ends upfield, wide and upfield. What he has a tendency to do is roll to the strong side of the field.
First down 5. 28, Michael Taylor goes down as he tried to run right behind the center and the left guard. 4:56 to go. Second quarter. It is Alabama 21, Mississippi State nothing. Rocky Felker trying to figure out something offensively, because one way to stop the Crimson Tide's great running game today is to maintain possession of the football. It may be the only way.
Changing his headset around there, bring him luck.
Don Smith, boy, does he get out in the corner fast. If he needs a block here, Don Smith diving forward for the first down. He can get to the corner faster than any quarterback I ever remember seeing.
Isn't he fun to watch? Hey, you think he was thinking about throwing this one? Look at the smoke coming out from under his shoes. He's heading for the corner. He wants to get that first down. Van Trees-Davis can't get there in time. And kaboom.
Wanted a block from halfback Rodney Peters, but he got around Peters so fast he didn't have anybody to block. First down 10 at the 18-yard line now. Don Smith throwing. Incomplete. Intended at the 12-yard line for Fred Hadley. He was covered by that excellent cornerback for Alabama, Freddie Robinson. They wanted a penalty marker here, but Robinson just hit him when the ball arrived. Smith's only 1 out of 5 throwing.
This is a see, Ricky Thomas, number 34, was up in the backfield. This is a play that's designed to throw in over the top of the strong safety, but Freddie Robinson, best man-to-man player Alabama's got, just sat down on that cut and made a great play on the ball. Almost went the other way for 95 or 85 yards.
Beautiful timing. 4:12 to go in the first half. Second down 10 at the 18-yard line. Here's Don Smith. Throwing, has a man, incomplete, threw it a little high, wanted to get it to Calvin Robinson, 33. So it'll be third down 10 from the 18. And a very big one coming up here as the Bulldogs continue to trail 21-0. And they don't have a lot of confidence in their field goal kicker because Artie Cosby missed a 30-yard chip shot previously. And by the way, Don Smith has now moved into 6th place in the SEC all-time career total offense race, ahead of John Forcade, who played at University of Mississippi. On the 3rd and 10, Smith has time. just mishandled the ball. He had Fred Hadley down there, possibility to receive that too. Looked like it slipped out of his hand. Somebody get on it or what? Tim, can you see?
I think he just held on to it a little bit too long. Here Hadley working man-to-man on Robinson. Breaks to the inside. I'll tell you what happened. He saw Kermit Kendrick right at the last minute. If he hadn't let that one go into the ground, it would have been intercepted. Good move on the ball by Kendrick, free in the middle of the field. Hadley holding his head, thinking he might have had a touchdown. If Smith had thrown that ball, it would have been intercepted.
Good call. This will be a 35-yard field goal attempt by Cosby. Is it going to stay? Yes, it's good. Penalty marker is down. However, it was 4th and 10, and a marker is down at the line of scrimmage. So let's see what the call is here. It could change things, but probably won't. Offsides, Alabama. Field goal is good. It's 21-3, and Mississippi State has scored with 3:57 to go in the first half. They trail 21-3. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. Campus at Mississippi State University in Starkville. It is beautiful around here. Fall colors just starting to arrive. It's a spring-like day today, temperature-wise, about 75 degrees. It couldn't be nicer. It's great flying weather for Air Foley.
Exactly. Scattered clouds, 3,500. As you look at Mississippi State's top dog there, Rocky Felker.
He's already cranked up his engine. I can hear the motor running in the background. You're going to wait. You're not leaving yet, buddy. It is Bobby Humphrey. Penalty markers are down. He stepped out of bounds. Now they say he did not step out of bounds. He goes down at the 37, but there is a penalty marker back at the 28, so you're going to bring this one back. Bobby Humphrey has 126 yards rushing, was just about to add 58 yards to his total offense leadership in the conference, but it won't count. They'll call it back. It is so rare to see a successful kickoff return without a penalty flag, and that's because of the blocking below the waist, the illegal block behind the back, the clip, and the various penalties that are enforced to save injuries, of course. But a nice run by Bobby Humphrey anyway. It was fun to watch.
Flipping on the run back. First down.
So Alabama 90 yards away now.
Let's see if we can pick it up in here, Bob. No, it happened before we could get an eye on it. But I think moving the ball back 5 yards has been a very productive rule change. Added a lot of excitement to college football.
First down 10 from the 10. Here comes Jelks, hit at the line, breaks a tackle, finally gets about a yard, but then he is engulfed by maroon jerseys. Willie Monroe, Dwayne King in on the stop. Here's how Alabama's done it. A 74-yard drive, 7-0, an 88-yard drive, 14-0. Then when it was 21-0, it was only a 47-yard drive because of an excellent 54-yard kickoff return. Then in the second quarter, Mississippi State with their field goal, a 52-yard drive and a 35-yard kick by Hardy Cosby. 3:11 to go in the half. It is second down 9 from the 11. Shula gives it off in the backfield to Humphreys, who gets Humphrey gets to about the 16. Down he goes. Jeremiah Sangster, number 40, with the tackle for Mississippi State. So Bulldogs are going to be conservative down here, and Rocky Felker's defense now with a big third down play. 3rd and 4 with Alabama at their own 16-yard line. And there's a timeout on the field. Mike Shula coming over to talk to Ray Perkins. And Mike Shula has really provided the kind of leadership for the kind of offense that Ray Perkins likes to run. The all-time TD pass leader at Alabama with 32 touchdown passes.
And he's just a study in efficiency, in preparation, good judgment, gets Alabama in the right play against the right defense. Had a hard time last week. He just was off. I mean, players have those kinds of games, and when he did get the ball in there, it was falling upon hardened hands. They would drop the football on him, and it just, if Mike underthrew the ball, Penn State didn't intercept it. If he put it in there, Alabama drop it. So it was a tough afternoon for him.
You know, Mike Shula was thought by many to be a Heisman Trophy candidate at the beginning of the year. That's not going to happen this year. Vinny Testaverde really running away with it at Miami. He's just been the leader since that big Oklahoma game. Harbaugh of Michigan, possibly, but he's going to, unless something happens to Testaverde, not much chance there. Paul Palmer, somebody that I've seen only video clips of. He is truly a great runner. And if you look ahead to next year, how about Shula? Well, he won't be there, of course, because he'll be in the NFL.
The dad's going to draft him.
I thought we were looking ahead to next year, but you can't win it in that league. All right, here's Humphrey. He gets the first down to the 21-yard line, so it was a well-placed timeout with 2:44 to go in the half.
And I think one of the questions that people ask is, can Shula play in the NFL? And his dad did. And
wait a minute.
No, don't get upset, Don.
Wait a minute. Let me get this clear from you. You're saying by
if
that.
If his dad did and I could, then he certainly has enough ability to. You know, he's got those intangibles that you can't teach someone that are really more valuable than at times a strong arm or quick feet.
1st and 10 from the 22. Here comes Humphrey. Ran into the back of his own player there, Gary Otten, number 70. Dwayne King, the true freshman, with the tackle from McGee, Mississippi. And clock down to 2:13 in the half. You know, we're talking about the SEC, Tim. You and I were chatting about it during commercial a moment ago. Interesting to talk about. This year, the SEC not as well balanced as it's been in some other years. You get past Auburn, Alabama, LSU, the league not quite as strong, bluntly.
True, and a little bit surprising in some specific cases.
Bobby Humphrey to the 34-yard line and down. Georgia is 3-1, and you can never count out Vince Dooley's Bulldogs, and they are 5-2 in the overall. Mississippi State, unless something drastically happens here, will probably drop from the conference race today. Ole Miss still has a shot. They're 2-1, but once again, you don't really, I don't think that you could really make a case for Ole Miss being in the class in terms of talent with the Auburns and Alabamas this year. And then you get down to Kentucky, Florida, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt, all having very disappointed seasons, all winless in the SEC. 1st down 10 from the 34. Shula. Plenty of time. Al Bell loses it. It's incomplete. I thought it was picked off by Jackson. I thought Jackson came away with it, but it's an incomplete pass. He had himself in a place that got there a little late, Tim.
Mike setting the ball flies on him a little bit. And I think he was looking for Stafford first, Bob. You know, Angelo Stafford out in the flat. A great play on the ball by Kirby Jackson. Look at this. Just tears it out of the receiver's hands. If they both come down with it, as is always the case, the offense gets the ball. You know, the rules are always slanted to the offensive side.
2nd down 10 from the 34. Here comes Doug Allen. Only a couple of yards. So it'll be 3rd down and long yardage coming up. You can see that Jackson had it momentarily, but lost it on that interception attempt. At halftime, the Mississippi State Maroon Band will have, of course, updates on some exciting college football scores and highlights with Kevin Slayton in the studio. An update on that Ohio State, Iowa, Florida State, Miami games that are going on. So stay tuned for that. 51 seconds of game time away. 3rd and 7 from the 37. For the Crimson Tide, leading 21-3. Shula under some pressure, and down he goes at the 32. Give credit to that sack to the defensive backs of Mississippi State. Shula could find nobody. It was 45 Monroe and 96 Simmons who made the sack, but it was the defensive backs doing a great job. It'll bring up 4th down. 17 seconds remaining in the half, and there is 36 Michael Robinson back to take the punt. This is the first punt of the day for number 5 Chris Moore, averaging 41.1 yards per punt.
I'll tell you, a few folks that are happy about this Alabama game is the connection goes back a lot farther than Don and Mike Shula. You got Bob Baumhauer, Alabama nose tackle, been an all-pro for Miami. Tony Nathan, Don McNeil, Dwight Stevenson.
And the time runs out before the punt takes place. The players leave the field. Alabama leads 21-3. Kim Anderson, Alex Vergara, Paula Edge, and our Chiron crew, the people that show you the graphics, are recovered very well from an exciting Halloween evening here in Starkville. Michael Wilker and Jeff Benke. The cameramen are still at the party. We saw some incredible costumes. Some of the students, I think, came right straight from last night's party to the ball game. We're here very early. There's one of the students dressed up as Michael Brooks, number 36. He's going to return this kickoff. Mississippi State trailing 21-3. Michael Robinson in the end zone. He runs it out there with authority to the 27-28 yard line. He's done quite a job so far today. Chris Good with the tackle. And there's a shot from the TBS helicopter.
They got my plane fixed.
That's Tim Foley. Yeah, you didn't know that Tim wasn't in the booth with me. They spot the ball at the 28 yard line. First down 10, Bulldogs trailing 21-3, opening play of the second half. Rodney Peters, a couple of yards, not much more, out to the 30 yard line.
We happen to be right next to the...
Not calling anything right now. He's the offensive coordinator. Rodney Stokes next to him on his right. Joe Kynes is hidden behind the bar. He's hiding out.
Second down 8 from the 30. Mississippi State. Down goes Don Smith. What penetration. He's knocked down at the 30 back. He was hit first by Cliff Thomas. First half stats tell the story. Mississippi State just simply being outmanned, outmuscled, and overpowered by the Crimson Tide of Alabama all the way across the board. This will be third down 8 from the 30.
Ray Perkins looks on, SEC Player of the Year in '66, Coach of the Year in '85.
Don Smith with some time to throw. Incomplete. Had a chance for the first down, but
Fred Hadley couldn't hold on. This is a disoriented Mississippi State team today. They're not playing as well as they had earlier in the year.
Hadley's job here is just to get the first down. Take it upfield. You see him glance at the stick. Take it upfield far enough to get the first down. Almost makes the reception. Has played very well for Mississippi State this year. Has got 24 receptions and a long ball hitter, averaging 20 yards a catch.
On the punt, Al Bell will take it at his 33. Nice job of running up to the 43-yard line. Al Bell tackled by 36 Michael Robinson, who's played a whale of a game for Mississippi State today on special teams, and it's going to be Alabama ball with good field position. All-American Cornelius Bennett and his mom, who's at the game today. Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to be Alabama football. It's at the 42-yard line of the Crimson Tide. They lead by a score of 21-3. 13:29 remaining in the third quarter. Bell splits wide to the left side. Clay Whitehurst to the right side. It is a wing left formation. Here's Doug Allen running on the sweep to the left side. He gets close to the first down, about 9 yards on the carry, out across the 50 inside Bulldog territory. Jesse Anderson with the tackle. Get statistician Alex Vergara to figure something out for me here today, and that is the average yards per carry for Alabama. It is something.
I think part of the unselfish nature of this team was demonstrated in that last play by Bobby Humphrey, who did a fine job of blocking the outside linebacker for Mississippi State.
They're going to run it to the right side this time. Inside the 45 to the 43 goes Doug Allen. He gets the first down, and Alabama's averaging 7 yards every time they run the ball. You can figure that out pretty quickly. It's lucky it's not more than 21-3.
So one question that that we discussed in the first half was noticed Alabama had not thrown the ball, and they really haven't needed to throw the ball. They've only been in 3rd and long, I think, twice all day, and if you don't need to take a chance, why take a risk?
First down 10 from the 43 of Mississippi State. They're going to run it again. Doug Allen hit the backfield and stopped. Coming in very quickly, 54, Gary Frank, the 295-pound nose guard, who's really learning the position as he plays this year. He's from Omro, Wisconsin. He's a big, strong man, big track and field guy, or field guy. He's a hammer throw expert.
Right.
There you go. We have a question for you. Who do you think that is dressed in her Miami, Florida-like outfit? The bright colors of South Florida.
And the last name starts with S.
Her son's a quarterback on one of these teams. Here's Shula throwing and overthrows Bobby Humphrey. And I gave it away. That's Dorothy Shula, Mike's proud mom. She came up and interviewed with Tim Foley a few games back. Delightful lady. Attends all the games. I don't know if she's missed any. Do you know, Tim?
There have been a couple that she hasn't been able to get to, and often she comes by herself. Don's usually busy. His hands full this year.
Oh my, that's a fact.
Trying to put that Dolphin team back together.
Here's a 3rd down 11 now, as Alabama has failed to get the first down, primarily because of the incomplete passes. And Shula's going to throw it again. All day to throw. And he overthrows Whitehurst. Oh, that was close to a penalty marker back there as Plummer came in and hit Whitehurst, but the ball was nowhere near him. But no penalty marker. And Alabama has to turn the ball over.
Tell you what happened there, Bob. It was a curl and go pattern to Whitehurst, and Plummer just laid off. He was going to let him have it. And he was playing so deep that Mike tried to reload and stick it in there anyway. Overthrew it, and then Plummer took a little shot at Whitehurst after the ball had gone by.
Here's Chris Moore. That's 36, Michael Robinson. Chris Moore to punt for the first time today for Alabama. He was about to punt as the half ended at the first part. First punt of the day for the Crimson Tide. It's a beauty. Robinson's going to let it bounce, and it's not going to go into the end zone. And Alabama getting everything to go their way today. At the 8-yard line, they will touch that ball down, and it will belong to Mississippi State. They're 92 yards away from the other end zone. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. We have 11 minutes, 31 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter from Scott Field in Starkville. The last time Mississippi State and Alabama met here was in 1962. In that game, Coach Bear Bryant found it going a little tough on the ground, so Alabama went to the air, and on the receiving end of the pass was receiver Bill Battle, later to become head coach at Tennessee. This catch in the 2nd quarter gave the Tide a 14-0 lead, and the quarterback for Alabama was none other than number 12, Joe Namath. The pair teamed up for another score in the 2nd half as Alabama went on to win 20-0 in 1962, the last time these two teams had played here in Starkville. 21-3 now, Mississippi State. Don Smith trying to find something. He's surrounded, throws across the field, has a man wide open. Couldn't get the ball there in time, almost intercepted. It was intended for Lewis Clark. The man getting the ball first was Freddie Robinson.
Back in 1962 there, the freshman in Alabama at that time was none other than Ray Perkins. I doubt that he was in Starkville then, though. Freshmen weren't eligible back in those days. But Ray, as a player, experienced 2 national championships at Alabama, 3 SEC championships, 32-1. Not a bad 3-year record.
On 2nd down 10, Rodney Peters drives it out to about the 14. Stop there. Give him close to 5. Ricky Thomas, number 34, with the tackle. And as you look ahead to next year for Mississippi State, it's going to be a wholly rebuilt offensive philosophy because they're losing Don Smith, who is their passer, their runner, Mr. Everything. They're going to have to look for a whole lot more, a whole different approach on offense. One of the Alabama players is down on the field. Looks like Philip Brown is shaken up. And it's going to be something, Tim, to watch to see what Mississippi State does in the era past Don Smith. Mike Davis, probably the leading candidate to replace him at quarterback, freshman from Oklahoma, Mississippi.
You see Chris Smith on the left of your screen there, the head trainer, testing those ligaments, see if they might be a little loose. Try to field test him there and then get him to the sidelines. They don't want to do anything to further damage his knee there. Obviously felt he was all right. pulling him up, walking him off the field. The trainer, we're going to see it again here. Looks like gets his knee caught up right there. Knee caught on the ground and twisted, rotated it, and looked like he could have sprained it. Chris Smith on the left of your screen, the head trainer, and that's one of the most valuable employees you can have on a football team. They really have a lot to do with the personality of your team.
3rd and 4 from the 14-yard line. Don Smith sprinting out. Needs 4. Throwing complete to Hadley. First down at the 27-yard line. Fred Hadley with the reception, his first of the day.
Hadley's kind of an interesting story, Bob. Dropped a long pass 2 years ago against Auburn, and they sat him down. Redshirted him the next year. When Rocky Felker and the boys came in this year, they really felt like he could be a home run threat for them, and they've been trying to work on his confidence ever since then, and Hadley's come through in fine form for him.
So the Bulldogs get out of the hole a little bit. They're out to the 27-yard line. Here's Peters, stopped at about the 29-yard line. Let's go to Kevin Slayton in our studios in Atlanta.
All right, Bob, down at the Orange Bowl, Vinny Testaverde with a great fake. He bootlegs into the corner of the end zone, and without Danny McManus, Florida State in trouble. They now trail 21-20 in the 3rd quarter. Let's go back to Starkville, Mississippi.
Here it's 21-3, Alabama leading, and Mississippi State 2nd down 8 at the 29-yard line. Don Smith has yet to break loose today. Hasn't had much opportunity. Gives it to Robinson. He gets out across the 35, short of 1st down though. He's hit by 27 Kermit Kendrick, and it'll bring up 3rd down and short yardage now for the Bulldogs. Smith has 35 yards running the ball on 7 carries, is 2 for 10 throwing for only 18 yards. This is a man who averages up close to 200 yards a game in total offense.
You need to have a counterpunch, though, Bob. If you're the only story, it's going to be awfully tough for you to produce for 10 or 11 games. You need to have something that you can come back and hurt the opposition with, a second choice. And that's what Mississippi State's working on developing.
3rd down 1. First down, Bulldogs. Rodney Peters diving over the right side of the line. Speaking of Don Smith, he's moved now into 5th place today. Started in 8th place today in the SEC career total offense listings. And he's moved past Jeff Wickersham into 7th, past John Forcade of University of Mississippi to 6th, and now past Whit Taylor from Vanderbilt into 5th place all time of career total offense. Don Smith has 6,728 yards. He's about 100 yards behind Pat Sullivan of Auburn for 4th place. Jerry Myers into the receiver position now on the 1st down 10 for the Bulldogs. Here's the option going the other way. Alabama wasn't fooled at all. And only a good effort by Jerry Myers, number 10, stops it from being a big loss. Willie Wyatt, pure freshman nose guard, playing for Alabama.
When things are going well for you on defense, you play your assignment first. You're not trying to hustle and catch something else. As we watch Cornelius Bennett, he slants hard to the inside, and then he spots it right away, gets back in it, smells it out, and helps make the stop there. But Alabama's a well-coached defensive football team, and all of 11 men handling their assignments well.
2nd down 10. Receivers open. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Myers. Out here, what would have been the 35-yard line, Kendrick covering. Myers, a sophomore from Bassfield, Mississippi.
Chris Good also in there on the coverage, and they've been using Chris Good a little bit more and more as the year goes on, alternating with Britton Cooper. Chris Good, a 5th-year senior, walk-on, brother of Kerry, and just got those outstanding work characteristics. It's just like Jarvis says. One of the coaches told him that when you come to Alabama, you give up your right to be average. They will all work hard.
3rd and 10 from the 40. Don Smith in a whole lot of trouble. Breaks loose, throwing on the run. It's complete to John Moore and knocked loose, incomplete. Hit hard by 34 Ricky Thomas. Don Smith almost thrown for a big loss, but that's happened a lot this year. He's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. Look at this hit.
Really? And he's better than Indiana Jones when it comes to getting away, and he finally finds John Moore, and Ricky Thomas had been coming a long way before he made that contact.
Parks with the punt. Gets a good one. Bell at his 12. Hit from behind, breaks the tackle, but knocked down at the 15. Good coverage by Mississippi State following an excellent 48-yard punt, only a 4-yard return, and Alabama will have it first down 10 at their own 16-yard line. Today's game is being brought to you in part by Ford and your Ford dealers, who invite you to come see the 1986 Ford cars and trucks. Have you driven a Ford lately? 8:04 to go, third quarter, 21-3, Alabama, first down 10 at the 16 for the Tide. They have not scored for a long, long time now. Humphrey to the 31, and down he goes. About 5 or 6 yards. Brian Hudson with his 5th tackle of the afternoon. Alabama scored in their first 3 possessions of the afternoon, but then have failed to score since then. Last time they scored was just prior to the end of the first quarter, only 36 seconds left, when Joke scored on the touchdown. So it's been a shutout for the second quarter for the Crimson Tide, and halfway through this quarter. Here comes Bobby Humphrey again, first down. Fumble! I believe it remained in the possession, and it did, of Alabama. Oh, that got everybody's attention. That was at the 30-yard line, and Alabama's had problems with turnovers this year. They've turned it over 19 times on the year. The man with the ball was David Johnson, the right side quick tackle, number 60. Was knocked out of there by Michael Simmons. 96.
Good job by Mike Simmons, tearing it loose there. Jackson almost gets there, but the big hoss beats him to the ball.
First and 10 from the 29-yard line. Here comes Humphrey. Out to the 36, 37-yard line. Humphrey's going to, depending on how many carries he gets today, he's going to approach 200 yards running the ball. He's up near 170 now.
Michael Robinson, as you pointed out, has done a fine job on special teams for Mississippi State, but he's also done a good job plugging a hole back in that weak safety position. When you miss and you're a weak safety, 9 out of 10 times you're talking about 6 points.
On second down, they hand it to the fullback, that time Doug Allen. Got close to the first down. I believe he got it. Let's see where they spot it. Might have to measure. Andre Harris, 72 with the stop. And I think they're deciding it was short, so it will be third down and just inches for Alabama.
If you're a defensive back, you have to teach tackling a little bit differently to a defensive back than you do to a linebacker. Very rarely do you get that shot where a guy's coming through the hole and he can't give you a move. As a defensive back, you just got to get him to the dirt any way you can.
Third down short. Pitch to Humphrey. He gets it due to second effort. They had him plugged up pretty well over there, and he got across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. First down, Alabama.
A little melee down there with Brian Hudson and Bill Condon. Brian, those guys, you just got to say, nice game. don't get into the squabble. Pick out a receiver.
Big Bill Condon, 250-pound junior from Mobile, Alabama. There's a future MSU student, or who knows these days, maybe a student. There's so many smart kids. 22 Jelks and 46 Allen in the backfield now for Alabama on a first and 10 from the 42. And it is Doug Allen. Look at the hole. First down. Inside Mississippi State territory to the 43-yard line. It was Plummer and Michael Robinson combining for the tackle eventually. A 15-yard gain that time for Doug Allen. And he's got 86 yards on the day. And Alabama has now rushed for 327 yards. Only 94 for the Bulldogs. This drive started at the 16-yard line of Alabama. Reverse Al Bell. It's a flea flicker.
Got it.
Shula, and they got it. No, its coverage is there now. It's intercepted by 7 Kirby Jackson. It was there, but the ball was slow getting there, and Jackson over to dodge the bullet. It was intended for 86 Stafford. Alabama plugging along, running. They try something fancy.
Here we go. You get the reverse pass. Clay Whitehurst wide open down the left side. Mike is looking for Stafford. The ball floats a little bit on him. Kirby Jackson played it well. He was back in good shape. Nice catch, Kirby.
So Mississippi State avoids the touchdown, but they have it at their own 3. First down 10 against this Crimson Tide defensive unit. They're just going to run it up the middle with Robinson. He gets out to the 5. Couple of yards only.
Robinson, the ball carrier.
You almost feel, you hate to say this on the part of Mississippi State, but you almost feel like they're just delaying the inevitable when Alabama has jumped out to that 21-3 lead. But I come right back again with logic and say Alabama has failed to score since the first quarter.
You know, and last year the game was at one point 41-3, ended up 44-28. So Mississippi has the ability to score in a hurry.
Don Smith has a man wide open. It's Lewis Clark out to the 25-yard line. Big first down for the Bulldogs. Chris Good with the tackle. 21-yard pass completion, the 4th completion of the day for Don Smith.
Watching Lewis Clark here. This young man made a sacrifice this year, moving from what would have been an all-SEC tight end position to the outside because they needed a little bit more speed at the outside receivers, and has played well for Rocky Felker's Bulldogs.
First and 10 at the 25. It's complete to Hadley. Gain of about 7 on the quick out. Let's go to Kevin Slayton in our studios in Atlanta. 3:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Mississippi State trailing 21-3 on a 2nd down 4. Peters stood up by Randy Rockwell. Only 1 turnover in this game, and that was that interception just a few plays ago. This will bring up 3rd down and about 4. Bulldogs trying to find a way to penetrate this Alabama defensive team. Passing hasn't worked well. 4 out of 13 for 46 yards, and they've run for only 96. Don Smith. Tip. Falls to the ground harmlessly. Lewis Clark, the intended receiver. I believe it was Ricky Thomas, 34, who got his hand on it out there for Alabama. And Mississippi State, dodging the touchdown bullet with the interception at the 3-yard line, will have to punt it away. And in comes Tommy Parks, the 18-year-old freshman.
Lewis Clark running a little zone pattern underneath, a little stall, just trying to get the first down. And ball thrown high, incomplete.
Good punt by Parks. Al Bell at the 28, hit, breaking tackles. He broke 5-6 tackles and gets to the 44-yard line. Had him back there at the 35. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. To our booth here high above Scott Field in Starkville. Bob Neal, Tim Foley, Kim Anderson, Paula Edge, our whole crew. Hope you're enjoying the ball game this afternoon. 21-3 Alabama leading, but Mississippi State just unable to get anything uncranked thus far. Alabama ball. 44. Humphrey for the 48. Bobby Humphrey with 174 and plus yardage now. He's up near 180. Gary Frank with the tackle that time. You got to talk about Gary Otten, Bill Condon, Wes Neighbors, Larry Rose, David Johnson. An outstanding offensive line that was frankly stopped cold by Penn State last week. So you know those young men got together and said, we've got to prove ourselves to ourselves again. On the 2nd down 5, Humphrey. First down, Moore. Finally out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Smith and Hudson with the tackle.
You know, they describe him, Bob, as a glider as opposed to, say, a Gene Jelks, who is more of a slashing type runner, a quick-footed runner. But, you know, watching the Penn State film and watching this game, and, of course, seeing him earlier against Tennessee, Humphrey runs with power. And if he can't get around you, he'd just soon run over you. He does it successfully.
He is 4 yards short of a 200-yard day with just a little over 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's Doug Allen. Doug Allen to just outside the 25. A couple of yards short of the first down. Hudson with the tackle again. Syracuse now leading Pittsburgh after trailing earlier. That's a 3rd quarter score for you. North Carolina leading Maryland. That's closer than most thought it would be. North Carolina State in a real close one in the fourth quarter with South Carolina. And Virginia trailing William and Mary. Colorado, big upset winners last week, trailing this week though. Maybe a little flat. First down carry by Bobby Humphrey. Willie Monroe with the stop. And Kentucky out in front of Virginia Tech second quarter. Clemson leading Wake Forest. Clemson off to a real good start, and then all of a sudden stumbling and sputtering in the ACC. And Richmond and Georgia at halftime 7-7. The Spiders came in fired up, and Auburn out in front of Florida. And we understand Kerwin Bell has just entered the game for Florida. He had been injured, as you probably know. First and 10 from the 22 now. Alabama driving, leading 21-3. Doug Allen up the middle to about the 17-yard line. Needs to go to about the 12 for the first down. Butts with the stop.
Well, the head coach there at Richmond used to be the offensive coordinator at Auburn and then at Tennessee, a guy named Dal Sheely, so he knows Georgia and Vince Dooley football well. Bobby Humphrey, if he knocks it over 200 yards, that'd be the second time this year.
It's 2:01 just now. What a day he's had. 41 seconds to go in the third quarter. Depending on his remaining carries, he could really load up on it. Here comes Humphrey again. Down to the 10-yard line. Bobby Humphrey. He's had 26 carries on the day now. Walk down to 28 seconds remaining in the third quarter as Alabama just relentlessly pounding on the door. They have not scored since 36 seconds remained in the first quarter. First down goal just inside the 10. Humphrey again. He's got it. Touchdown, Bobby Humphrey and Alabama.
Here we go. It's a replay. Condon picks up a block there. Howard Cross, a fine job, and then Milton Smith dragged a little bit too far inside with the wide receiver, and Humphrey found the corner.
27 carries, 218 yards, 3 touchdowns today.
Amazing afternoon. Usually they don't want us to talk right after a score because of the crowd noise, but and much crowd noise when Alabama scores here.
42,500 at Scott Field today, and 8,000 are from Alabama. So Bobby Humphrey with his third touchdown of the day, and the score goes to Alabama 28, Mississippi State 3. Mississippi State coming in here 6-2, will fall to 6-3 now and go to 2-2 in the conference and be virtually eliminated for a chance to win that.
Talking to Ray Perkins yesterday, he said he wasn't really interested in seeing Rocky Felker till after the game. He says, you know, we're friends, but it's war till after the game on Saturday. And I get a cute story. Before we play the championship game in 1971 against Baltimore, my responsibility was to cover Ray, and I was kind of an emotional player trying to work up my emotion and intensity, and I was just looking down the field staring at him thinking I'm not going to let you catch one. I'm not going to let you catch one. And as he came running off the field toward the locker room, he caught my eye, came running over to me, stuck out, and here I was trying to work up a good match, you know, stuck out his hand and said, God bless you, Tim. I said, get away from me. Don't talk to me like that.
Well, he must have learned from that, because now he doesn't talk to the opponent. Huh?
Oh, boy.
Well, what happened in the game? You didn't tell us the rest of it.
Well, we beat him 21-0, and I've got another story about what happened in the game later on that's kind of cute.
21-0.
But Ray, yeah, God bless you. Don't talk to me like that. Don't be nice to me. I'm trying to be mad.
15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It is John Moore, number 39. He fumbles it and falls on it at the 12. So not going very well for the Bulldogs here today. They're trying everything, too. We've seen about 70 players for Mississippi State. None of them been able to get anything going, including their great quarterback, Don Smith, who's only rushed for 35 yards and only completed 4 of 14 passes.
Basically what teams are doing to Mississippi State now are they're just taking away the outside. You watch in the pass rush, we'll show you a little bit later on, in the pass rush the defensive end is just lined up very, very wide and taking an outside charge upfield.
12 seconds to go in the third quarter on the first down. Don Smith outrunning the linebacker, gets to the corner, gets about 5 or 6 yards. His speed is his asset out there. He almost has to outrun the lack of blocking. Doesn't get much on the corner today. That's the end of 3 quarters. Alabama 28, Mississippi State 3. Bob Neal and Tim Foley with you, wishing you a happy day after Halloween. You've probably completed washing the soap off your windows. They needed it anyway.
Send all your Snickers to us.
The remaining Snickers. And there's the Mississippi State band still playing the blues. About a yard or so for Rodney Peters. I don't think he got the first down. It was 2nd down and about 2, but I don't think he got it. Portions of today's game are being brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all you do, this Bud's for you. So it'll be 3rd down, about a yard, maybe even longer at the 21-yard line. In motion, and it's going to be 3rd and a lot longer because 77 Alvin Robinson messed up on the count, jumped off sides over on the left end. Quick tackle who's a senior, and that'll make it 3rd down 6.
Just misses the snap count there. Good job by the Alabama player. Not giving the Mississippi State player time to reset.
Offense.
Of course, once that offensive lineman moves his hand, once it's off the ground, that's illegal procedure. They can't come back.
3rd and a long 6 here from the 16-yard line. Peters in motion out of the backfield. Smith with time. It's complete for the first down to Hadley. And he goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Back to our studios in Atlanta. Here's Kevin Slater.
Thank you, Bob. Down in Miami, Florida State's Derek Smith from 45 yards out kicks the Seminoles into a 2-point, 23-21 lead over Miami as they start the 4th quarter. Top-ranked Hurricanes in trouble. Let's go back now to Starkville.
Well, the 8th-ranked Crimson Tide is in no trouble whatsoever, leading 28-3 here at Starkville. It'll be 1st down 10. Don Smith under pressure, going down. 25-yard line. Derek Thomas, his 2nd sack of the day.
We saw Derek get 3 sacks against Vanderbilt earlier in the season, and just an excellent heir apparent for the vacancy that Cornelius Bennett will leave.
It'll be 2nd down 13 at the 25-yard line. You don't see anybody catching Don Smith very often. Don Smith injured his ankle slightly in the Tulane game. Hasn't been completely 100% in terms of his speed since then, although he's been pretty mobile today. Moore in motion out of the backfield. Quickly across the middle, incomplete. It was intended for Clark, and he was really hammered. Ricky Thomas has been punishing these receivers out there. Ricky Thomas, the strong safety, 6 feet, 185-pound senior from Eglin Air Force Base.
And he really is the quarterback of the defensive backs back there, Bob. Makes the changes in the coverage and intercepted the first pass of the season thrown by Ohio State, and just a real leader back in there.
Now they're strong all the way across. 3 seniors and a sophomore starting. Cooper, Thomas, and Robinson seniors. Don Smith under pressure again. Out of the pressure. Incomplete. Fans wanting a penalty marker on 36 Chris Good. It was intended for Hadley. That was 3rd down, and it will be a punting situation for the Bulldogs.
You wonder what Smith would have been like if he had an opportunity to be with a team where he could drop back, set up, and throw the ball. Hadley breaking back to the inside. Good in great shape, making a play on the ball. At that point, Hadley has to come back toward the ball more. He can't sit there, and that's something that he'll learn as he matures as a receiver.
Another nice putt by the freshman punter at the 28 Bell. This time he does not get away, and down he goes out to the 31-yard line. First man down, 38, James Williams. That was another excellent punt, 46 yards. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. Fred Hadley, Mississippi State Bulldogs, having kind of a rough afternoon. He has 3 catches for 31 yards, but that secondary has really been handling things. First down, 10 from 31. Crimson Tide. And here comes guess who? Bobby Humphrey. First down run. Tripped up by Asa Bennett. He had 218 yards, so he's up near 230 now. And another Alabama first down. Humphrey just a sophomore, too. Your Mississippi State or any of the SEC opponents, you look down and see Humphrey's a sophomore. There you look at
Jelks is a sophomore.
Just broke his own leading rushing total against Tennessee. Jelks. Doug Allen's only a junior, the fullback. Wright's a junior, the other fullback. Here's the pitch to the outside, and about 3 or 4 yards this time out to the 48-yard line. Kirby Jackson tackling number 26, Humphrey. Might be kind of tough to recruit a freshman running back at Alabama right now because of all that talent in the back.
Getting to the point where you might be able to get one in. I bet last year was impossible. You're also seeing another Ray Perkins philosophy here, Bob, and that's Mike Shula still at quarterback.
Shula's only attempted 5 passes today, only completed 1. Here's Humphrey, and here's why he's only completing them. Humphrey's gone. Does he have enough energy left to get in the end zone? No. Goes to the 3-yard line. He was caught from behind by Bruce Plummer, but after a 49-yard gain. 282 yards on the day.
Brian Hudson blitzing inside in the gap. He just crushed the linebackers. He tries to nip inside, and then in blitz coverage, once they split the seam, then it's up to the cornerbacks. And here come Kirby Jackson and Bruce Plummer to drag him down.
Humphrey's tired. That's why they caught him. At the 3-yard line, it's first and goal, Alabama. Here comes Kerry Good. Touchdown easily, Alabama. And Alabama has now rushed for 447 yards on the day with 11.5 minutes to go. And these proud Bulldogs are hanging their heads today because they're taking their 2nd straight SEC thrashing. They got walloped last week by Auburn, and now it's Alabama doing likewise, both at home. And you see them exiting early at Scott Field in Starkville. Van Tiffen for his point after, in case you weren't tuned in earlier. Van Tiffen has broken and continues setting new mark in terms of NCAA consecutive points after touchdown. There's Kerry Good with the touchdown, and it's 35-3. We've got a basic David and Goliath going here today. 69-yard drive, only 4 plays thanks to that long run by Humphrey of 49 yards. Time of possession was 1:33. And with 11:30 remaining in the game, it's 35-3 Alabama. Van Tiffen's leg's going to get tired. Robinson's going to run it out of the end zone. Shy of the 20, goes down about the 17 or 18. He was hit by 48, Desmond Holloman.
You know, some people felt that it might be an advantage. Rocky Felker knows this Alabama football team so well since he was there for 3 years, as was Dave Rader. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. You know, it doesn't really do you much good to know what a player can do if you don't have somebody that can stop it. And that's been Rocky's particular problem this Saturday afternoon.
First and 10, Mississippi State from their own 18-yard line. Don Smith trying to make something happen. Almost intercepted, threw it behind his intended receiver, 39, John Moore. Don Smith not having himself a good day today either. 5 of 19 throwing the ball for only 58 yards. And there you see warming up for Alabama, number 13, the backup quarterback, sophomore from Gadsden, is David Smith. And it looks like he might see some action by looking at him warm up. Mike Shula has gone all the way. Has only to throw 5 passes. Completed 1 for 17 yards. Threw 1 interception. Second down, 10 from the 18. And the handoff goes to 28 Taylor, who gets it to about the 23-yard line. Not much more.
We talked about Ray Perkins' quarterback philosophy. Basically, it's the number 1 man takes all the snaps. Even in practice, Mike takes 80% of the snaps, and it's that way in a game till it's well out of reach.
78 Derek Rushton, the player down on the field for Alabama. We're going to pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
TV 19 Huntsville.
Bob Neal, Tim Foley with you from Starkville, Mississippi. 11:06 to go in this ball game, and they're checking over Derek Rushton. Philip Brown, previously injured with the knee, taken off the field for Alabama. The only injuries so far today, both of them knee injuries, unfortunately. We do not know the extent of either the Brown injury or the Rushton injury. It gives us a moment to remind you that we have a unique guide to sports available. Super Sports News, the monthly magazine of WTBS Sports, offering readers insight into teams and players that's not available anywhere else. To sign up for the next 15 issues, mail $11.95 to Super Sports News, Post Office Box 2000, Decatur, Georgia 30031. I have a moment to give you some scores from college football action around the country today. There's a beauty. Maryland now leading North Carolina. Potential upset in the making, and some good news on the Maryland campus in a week that's not been filled with good news with the resignation of Driesell. Virginia trailing by 10. Virginia Mary. Ohio State comfortably in front in the fourth quarter. Kentucky trailing Virginia Tech at halftime. Wake Forest leading Clemson third quarter. And Tim.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
That's okay.
It can happen. It can happen.
Now, Kevin, that's not an upset in the making. We're gonna wait and see what happens here. Don't say anything about that one. Throw that score out for a while.
And Vanderbilt trying to get their second win of the year. Memphis State winless. That's in the second quarter at Nashville. Third down 5 from the 23. Smith under pressure. It is complete to number 84, John Lowe, back from an injury. He injured his knee against Memphis. First action since then, and it is a first down. The quarterback pressure by Anthony Smith, but Don Smith got the pass off in plenty of time.
With Rushton going down, that puts the pressure again on the defensive line coach for Alabama, Mike DeBose. He's been having to do magic tricks all year long. They've had trouble keeping people healthy up front.
There was a broken play. 39 John Moore was running almost a post pattern. He threw it to look like it should have been an out pattern. At any rate, it was incomplete. I should stay out of your analysis area.
No, that's good.
Close?
That was good. That was close. That was close. And as long as they don't run it back, nobody's ever going to know anyway.
I think I understand what you're saying. Okay, he was running a go pattern instead of an out pattern.
Right.
I'll never learn. Don Smith steps into the pocket, is going to run it. Chance for the first down. Gets it. Out to the 46-yard line. Don Smith, tackled by Sean Lee, number 12. Don Smith now with 10 carries, has 54 yards on the day.
You know, he almost looks like a slalom skier when he cuts it back. He just is. Watch this explosion. Boom. Hadley is being jammed out of bounds. That was who he was looking for. It's not there. So here he goes. Cloud of dust and a hearty hi-oh silver, and here comes Don Smith.
He looked like a slalom skier if you're talking about me, because he went down on the shush. Whatever you call that thing. Here's first down. Smith throwing, tipped, intercepted. Yes, by Alabama at the 33. 29, John Magnum with the catch.
Smith is trying to hit Hadley. Bethune leaps high into the air, tips the ball, and here comes Magnum. Nice catch by John Magnum, freshman. They're using him a little bit as a safety. Earlier in the year, he was a cornerback, and now he's playing, looks like free safety for him.
There's John Mangum with the interception. Second turnover of the day, one each for each team. Kerry Goode bouncing off tackles, getting a couple of yards before being slammed down at the 37. Milton Smith with the tackle. And there's the new quarterback in there, the fellow we showed you warming up previously, the sophomore David Smith from Gadsden, Alabama. Not much playing time for David this year.
Milton Smith, number 34, Mississippi State's that little fireball, 5'7", a true freshman, just tremendous instincts and explosion on the ball. He's back there playing cornerback.
Clock ticking down, 9:18 to go in the game. Alabama 35, Mississippi State 3. And here comes number 40, Bo Wright, the fullback. Only a couple out to the 39.
Excuse me, Bob. Alabama was so banged up in their defensive front you know, they graduated Sowell last year and Hand and Roberts, and they were thin in there already. Then they've got some people hurt. They've got a plan to go with 2 down linemen. Just play with all inside linebackers and outside linebackers, with the exception of Jarvis.
It is 3rd down 3 from the 40. Good. Finds running room for the 1st down across the 45 to 46. Cedric Course with his 7th tackle, but Cedric has not had the kind of success today that Mississippi State needed from that position.
You see Gary Good lining up at halfback here again. Earlier in the year, they used him in the fullback position, but just due to some wear and tear, I think, on Humphrey and Jelks, they've got him back in the halfback slot, and he's getting some significant playing time here.
It is 1st down 10 from the 47. Inside the 50 to the 49-yard line. Gain of about 5. Kerry Good carrying Bobby Humphrey out of there. By the way, with his 282 yards on the day, Humphrey has broken the all-time Alabama single-game rushing record. And when you're talking about Alabama, that is some record to be proud of. 282 yards today for Bobby Humphrey. Whether we'll see him again or not, I don't know, but frankly, I doubt it. 2nd down 4 from the 48-yard line now. Alabama continuing to maintain control of the ball. 2nd down 6. Here comes Wright. And he gets to the 37. Asa Bennett with the tackle, and that's a 1st down carry. And Tim, I think that just goes to show what I was about to say, and that is that Humphrey, number 26, will get credit, and deservedly so, for a great day. But look how well all the backs are running, and that's because of Otten and Condon and Neighbors and Rose and Johnson and their other teammates.
Yeah, and they've got a good blocking scheme. Watch this. This is called, they fake the pitch. You see how Butts takes that step there, tries to get back, can't do it. It's called a sucker, and it just trapped it in there behind him, and a successful play for Alabama.
7 minutes to go in the game. On a slight draw, they give to Good. Breaks outside. Only gets a couple. Good pursuit. Good individual effort by Kerry Good, too. Bennett and Jackson combining on the stops. Kerry Good, who's a junior from Town Creek, Alabama, came to Alabama heralded as a potential All-American. And he just remembered the game against Boston College a couple of years ago. He broke that kickoff return and looked like he was really a star on the rise. And unfortunately, he's been plagued by injuries.
You know, injured his knee, came back and had a knee problem again, and this is as much action, I bet, as he's seen all year.
2nd down 6 from the 32. Look at those totals, 503 to 194. That's total offense. There's Good, short of the 1st down, gets to about the 27. Jeremiah Sangster with the stop. Good's brother Chris is playing defensive backfield for Alabama. You've heard us talking about him previously. It's been a lovely day, but from a Mississippi State viewpoint, not so lovely. The clouds are rolling in a little bit. Still a nice day, though. 5:49 remaining. 35-3 Alabama. Alabama will go on to play LSU, that's at Birmingham, followed by Temple at Tuscaloosa, and then Auburn at Birmingham. Another 1st down for Alabama, this time to the 22. It's Kerry Good carrying again. They maintain control of the ball as the clock keeps ticking. And the fans continue to file out of Scott Field. The only part of the stands that continues to be full is the crimson area of the stands, where there are about 8,000 Alabama fans. So Mike Shula, not much passing, but that statistic's not really significant today.
No, I don't think so. I think many times today Mike would get them into the right play that made these runs successful, along with the awesome blocking of that front 5.
1st and 10 from the 22. It's Good again, the right side this time. About 3 or 4 yards. The hole closed up a little better than it had been closing previously.
I think too often people, in terms of performance, lean on statistics, and statistics can often be deceiving. As you watch this play again here, good block by Bo Wright. See him, number 40, boom. Brian Hudson again outsized and trying to take him on, but Wright gets underneath him and drives him back off the ball. But it depends on what you're called to do, and I wouldn't call Mike Shula's performance today anything but satisfactory.
Well, we have a timeout on the field. We'll be right back. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT. 4:52 to go in the football game. Score, Alabama 35-3, and even the backup place kicker Butch Worley's getting a workout over on the sideline. Second down, 6 from the 18, Crimson Tide.
Second down and 6.
Here comes Gene Jelks. Oh, not much there. He is popped hard after a gain of about a yard. Jelks has 48 yards rushing today, and Alabama's up to 502 rushing on the ground game, and Dwayne King with the stop, along with Jeremiah Sangster.
I'll tell you my other Ray Perkins story.
Oh, good. It's the same game that the Dolphins won 21-0.
Right. Same game. Ray Perkins, they used to run him on a reverse. The only thing is, when he'd run the reverse, he'd line up about 5 yards closer to the tight end than usual. So when he lined up there, we'll come back to it just a second.
Okay, we've got him lined up now, close to the tight end. Jelks to the 8. You got to hurry before Alabama scores.
Okay, so Perk would sneak in, see, because he wasn't fast enough to get there unless he snuck in for the reverse. Well, he lined up there. We all started hollering, reverse, reverse, reverse. But Unitas ran the play anyway. And by the time he got the ball, Scott was coming. Jake Scott was coming. And that look right on his face is about the look that he got when Jake hit him. Pow! And knocked him. You know, he had that head problem and knocked him semi-conscious. And his eyes were kind of rolling around in his head. We'll come back in a second.
Okay, here comes Jelks down at the 5, where it'll be second down and goal. Okay, now we got him.
His
eyes rolling around
his head, you know, and he'd run down and he'd still try to run his patterns, but he had a hard time keeping his feet. And I'd say, Ray, get out of here, get out of here. And I finally had to go over to the official and say, hey, this guy is not healthy. We need to get him off the field, which was a very unselfish thing for me to do because I could cover Ray, but they brought in Willie Richardson, who was a real problem for this kid.
Ray's never forgiven you.
Oh, shoot.
I got a kick out of the first time you reminded him of that story, too. He kind of had that look that we just saw there. Second down, 5 from the 5. Here comes Jelks, looking to cut it upfield, but these Bulldogs are playing with some pride down here. They're trying to hold the Crimson Tide out of the end zone. I mean, they've just been beaten all day, but they've got their pride. Brian Hudson with the tackle that time. Clock down to 2:33. It's been fun getting to know these coaches, particularly around the SEC. Tim, you and I and our crew have been for several years now, and as you get to know them a little more and we get to be a little closer to each one in terms of working with them, it just makes the job a lot more enjoyable. And Ray Perkins is readily admits that when he's prior to a ball game, he's not a fun type guy. We appreciate all the time we get to spend with him. Every now and then I know Tim can get a little smile on his face. That's David Castile carrying.
You know, it got a smile on his face yesterday afternoon. He stood out by this little building here and I guess the south end of the field, and that's where Ray started his coaching career by directing the off-season program, and he gleefully reflected on the pain, torture, and agony that he put his first group through. He said those guys are never going to forget those 3 months.
Butch Worley in now. He's the backup place kicker, and he's in for a 22-yard field goal. So even Butch Worley gets an opportunity to participate in this game, and it is true. So Butch Worley, who's a senior at Alabama, has been bumped from the job by another senior, Van Tiffen, but Butch Worley gets an opportunity to participate for the Crimson Tide in the 38-3 lead with 1:25 to go. There's the building you're talking about, Tim.
Yes, and everyone that's played college football had a place like that they remember. The off-season programs were always harder than the season because they'd usually give it to a younger coach or a graduate assistant that was working on his master's, usually as an experiment.
Michael Robinson down at the 23-yard line. We have 1:18 remaining in this ball game. Orlando Courtney with the tackle, and out comes Mississippi State. Let's see if they make any changes here to give anybody. I think Mike Davis is going to come into the ball game. He threw a touchdown pass last week when he played the last few minutes against the Auburn Tigers.
Yes, he did. He was 6 out of 9, directed him down the field, played very well.
And could be, unless another youngster beats him out, could be the heir apparent to the quarterback job here at Mississippi State, and that's a big decision, big change going to happen when Don Smith leaves. Straight drop back, and he completes a pass to Lewis Clark, number 82. Clock down to 108, 107 and ticking. Executive producer for TBS Sports, Don Ellis. Today's game's been produced by Skip Ellison, directed by John Bishop, technical director Rick Rayford, associate producer Rodney Triplett, associate director Mark Zeman. Fine people all, and the rest of our fine TBS crew. Incomplete pass out near midfield with the clock down to 52nd. Alabama's rushing 515 yards today is the NCAA high of 1986. The previous was TCU versus Tulane of 508. So this is the most any team has rushed for in the NCAA competition all year long. And Alabama's they came out and served notice that they were back together following the 23-3 loss to Penn State. Alabama's hopes for a national championship dashed unless a lot of teams get upset toward the end. But their hopes for a SEC championship certainly stay alive. They'll go to 4-0. Mississippi State drops to 2-2. Here is Mike Davis, completes another pass for a first down to Lewis Berry. You may be seeing the look that'll be a little bit more the fashion at Mississippi State next year. A drop back quarterback, a little bit more running by the running backs. Shorter pass routes perhaps, and a penalty marker is down out there at the 35-yard line. Clock to 41 seconds. Scores around the league. Miami now with a 5-point lead over Florida State. That's in the fourth quarter. Danny McManus is out of that ball game last I heard, by the way, for Florida State. Injured his hand. North Carolina back out in front now. Virginia within 4. And Colorado has come from behind. They may remain undefeated in the Big 8 and face that showdown with Oklahoma later. Georgia Tech clobbering Duke today. That's in Atlanta. And Virginia Tech beating Kentucky 14-9. Fourth quarter. Clemson came from behind. They get a lead now, 21-20. There's a very happy group of Crimson Tiders, as they well should be. 38-3 leaders with less than half a minute to go. 28-27 and ticking. Incomplete. Couldn't find anybody. Looked for Fred Hadley down there. Clock stops at 24 seconds left. I'd like to thank the folks who've been so kind to us here in Starkville. New sports information director Joe Deers on the job for the first time today here. Sports information director at Alabama, who does such a wonderful job all the time, Wayne Atchison, says he sees Tim and I so much it's a challenge for him to dig up new facts.
I tell you one thing I've noticed about SIDs, and I told this to Joe Deere, he's single. All the wives I've met of SIDs, you know, Barbara Atchison, you know, Sue Housel, well, they're all good looking, so that's one benefit of having that job.
Penalty marker. Could be pass interference with 17 seconds left. John Moore, the intended receiver, on the end of that Mike Davis. I like the look of this young man's arm. He can wing it downfield pretty well. I think it may have been Desmond Holloman who was interfering there. Take a look at it again.
The old Desmond. Looked like he got a hand on him.
By the way, we wanted to thank also the hospitality of the Starkville Cafe. Little spot we located downtown Starkville where we had our pre-game meeting today. Got us prepared. Some great grits.
Sweet Mary.
Pass interference, defense, first down.
We were talking to folks about recruiting. You know, Starkville, you know, people joke about the name Starkville. If you've ever been over here to this part of Mississippi, it's a beautiful part of the country, gorgeous campus, and it's one of the reasons that once you get a kid to visit here in terms of being an athlete, if they can get them to visit, they like Starkville, particularly a lot of city kids, because it's a beautiful area. Davis showing some elusiveness, throwing on the run. It's picked off by Alabama at the 9. It is 31 Steve Wilson, a sophomore from Brundage, with his first interception. Mike Davis showing not some great judgment throwing into that coverage, but some nice foot speed to get away. Clock down to 8 seconds, so Alabama will simply take it and run it out, and this game will be over. 38-3 Alabama. And Bobby Humphrey had himself a career here today. 282 yards running the ball behind that offensive line with some excellent blocking. And by the way, I might mention our crew has shown you some terrific clinic-like replays that Tim's talked about with Bo Wright and Allen and the fellows doing such a great job blocking for Alabama today. But we almost take those replays for granted.
We take them for granted. We're so used to seeing them right on the spot. Always seem to be in the center of the action.
And David Smith takes a knee, and that will conclude this ball game with Alabama laying it on Mississippi State 38-3. Mississippi State lost last week 35-6 to Auburn, and now they got to play LSU at Jackson. It's a murderous November and schedule for the Bulldogs. This is Super Football Saturday on TNT.
Don't forget, after we conclude our coverage from Starkville, we'll be along here to show you highlights of that great game between Florida State and top-ranked Miami, a game the Hurricanes have rallied in. Now let's go back to Starkville.
Thanks, Kevin. There's the final. Alabama 38-3, and they kept it on the ground today. Alabama attempted only 6 passes and broke the NCAA record for 1986 single-game rushing with 513 yards. It was Bobby Humphrey leading the way today. And next week we'll be in Lexington, Kentucky. Vanderbilt and the University of Kentucky, 12:30 Eastern Time. Today's game has been brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, simply phone your nearest BMW dealer. From Starkville, the final score, Alabama 38, Mississippi State 3. Speaking on behalf of our entire crew and Tim Foley, this is Bob Neal saying so long, everybody.